Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube, and my fellow gun boys. Welcome to a special edition episode of GNN, as we have been given special preview access to a new mobile suit arriving on the Gundam Battle Operation 2 landscape. But before we begin, I'd like to shout out and express my thanks to Bandai Namco for allowing us to come back to check out this upcoming mobile suit banner. So without further ado, the RX-0 Unicorn Gundam Unit 3 Phenex from Gundam NT is coming to GBO2. Just as a disclaimer, the opinions and perspectives on the Phenex are based on a early in-development build of the mobile suit and may change from the time that it's released. So without further ado, let's get into the details. The Phenex comes in as a 4-star 700 cost general mobile suit developed in secret, independently based on data from both the Unicorn and Banshee units. While it is shown as a 1-star mobile suit, Bandai Namco has made it pretty clear that this will be adjusted prior to its launch. Looking at the Phenex's stats in Unicorn mode, it comes in with a health pool of 23k, resistances in the 30s for both ballistic and beam, and 16 for melee resist. Range power for the Phenex also comes in at 30, while its melee comes in slightly more at 40. At this point, the Phenex looks more like it comes in with some decent numbers that allow for a variety of configurations that players could run to deal with the current ecosystem, which is 700 cost. Looking at the Phenex's movement stats, it feels pretty on par with what is expected and doesn't seem to be over the top, despite it being a step slower behind the Unicorn Gundam in both movement and turning speed. Just like its siblings, the Phenex's stats also change once NTD is engaged. Offensive power for the suit shifts in favor of range strength, and also complements the additional weaponry that the Phenex brings to bear, which we'll go over in a bit. Even in NTD mode, the Phenex looks like it's a still step slower than the Unicorn Gundam, however, it should still be usable in its present state. Shifting gears down to the Phenex's armament in Unicorn mode, it comes in with the same beam magnum as its Unicorn brother, with a whopping base damage of 3600, 5 shots in the mag, 0.8 seconds focus time, and a 350 meter effective range. The Phenex has a strong start, as it shares the same impact and splash damage properties found on the Unicorn Gundam. The Phenex's main melee option is its arm beam saber, coming with a base damage of 2800, cooldown time of 2.5 seconds, and standard Federation-based swings. The Phenex offers familiarity and consistency with its reach and doesn't skimp on its punches either. Jumping into the sub-weapon category, the Phenex comes in with Mark III head Vulcans. With a base damage of 150, 40 rounds in the mag, an effective range of 200 meters, and an 11-second reload, there's nothing overly extraordinary about them, other than it's a solid option for the Phenex to use to help mop up targets or other related maneuvers. The rate of fire for this weapon is pretty solid as well, as they come out fairly quickly and seem to flinch upon emptying half the mag. The Phenex also comes with the first iteration of Armed Armor DE in 2 forms. The first is in a Mega Cannon configuration, coming in at 1200 damage, a heat rate of 50%, an effective range of 450 meters, 18 seconds overheat, and a 1 second cooldown between shots. The Mega Cannon offers a decent range stun option for the Phenex to close in or keep enemies at bay, despite it being forced to stay in place while in use. The other iteration that the Armed Armor DE is utilized on the Phenex is a launch mode. The launch mode for the Armed Armor DE flies in with a base damage of 1000, 1 shot, 13 seconds reload, and an effective range of 300 meters. It physically hits targets in the very same manner as expected in Gundam NT. After a couple hits, a potential target flinches and feels like a great tool to counter enemy mobile suits that possess maneuver armor-like properties. The Phenex's main melee in NTD mode shifts to the usage of both its back-mounted beam sabers, with a base damage of 3000, a 2.5 second cooldown, and the Pale Rider dual saber animation. The Phenex's melee potential seems decent, but may be short-lived and balanced out due to its low melee modifier. The Mega Cannon for the Armed Armor DE also changes in NTD mode, as the base power climbs up to 1500, has a heat rate of 80%, the same effective range of 450 meters, cooldown time now of 4 seconds, and the same 18-second overheat. Outside of the extra damage and longer time between shots, the changes in NTD mode for the Mega Cannon seem to be debatable for the slight increase in damage output. The launch version in NTD mode for the Phenex doesn't change in terms of attack power, but gains an extra 50 meters effective range and is able to fire more often due to its reload time shifting from 13 seconds to 10 seconds in NTD mode. One additional difference that is similar to the Delta Kai, the launch version of the Armed Armor DE in NTD mode gains another attack for a total of 4 hits in launch mode in the event that some of those attacks miss. In NTD mode, the Phenex also gains the ability to use its Armed Armor DE in a defensive manner, very similar to the mechanics found with the Moon Gundam. This option protects from active threats from both ranged and melee options in the same manner for a limited time, after which the defensive option goes into overheating mode for 25 seconds before it can be utilized again. The last sub-weapon in the Phenex's arsenal in NTD mode is the Arm Beam Tonfa. Coming in at a base damage of 3500 and a 2-second cooldown, this additional melee option offers a bit of reach as it shares the same box saber animation found with a number of GM-based mobile suits. Based on the examples that we have, it is safe to assume that these aren't able to be comboed and rely on juggling the Phenex's main melee for more potential damage. Jumping into the shopping list of skills that the Phenex brings to bear in both Unicorn and NTD mode feels pretty standard with consideration to the caliber mobile suit that it represents. In the 700 cost ecosystem, the Phenex has the most of the general type fixings with a few standout examples. When the Armed Armor DE options are selected, the Phenex gains a 35% damage reduction buffer from HP loss from damage to Psycho-Mu weapons called the Psycho-Mu weapons buffer, which is at level 4. When NTD is engaged, this skill bumps up to 40%, bringing the level of the skill up to 5. In Unicorn mode, the Phenex also possesses emergency evasion system at level 2, which indicates a double evasion for anyone using this suit. In NTD mode, this is bumped up to level 3. While the Phenex also gets a unique counter that occurs when the suit is at 30% health, and when both Armed Armor DE weapons are in use or selected, which is pretty cool by the way. The most notable unique skill for this suit is the Psycho Frame Attack. While the Psycho Frame Attack is only utilized during NTD and Awaken mode, using high-speed movement for a set period puts the Phenex into a specific attack mode, similar to the Delta Kai. This in turn increases high-speed movement by 10, reduces cumulative damage reactions, and allows for ramming, which in turn can stagger and damage enemy suits on collision. Unfortunately, this cannot be used if the Armed Armor DE is not with the Phenex. With everything said and done, the Phenex from Gundam NT certainly feels like an impressive suit that can be pretty fun if it remains mostly unchanged. However, what do you guys think? Is this something that you guys would be willing to use and pull for? Let me know in the comments below on what you guys think and if you guys found this informative. Again, special thanks to Bandai Namco for the preview opportunity, and until next time guys, I'll see you all on the next video.